years, 6 of the best years of my life. In Chicago. I learned how to produce theater here. Yeah, that's cool.
We love you, James.
No!
We do.
How much do you love me?
So much. We love you so much that when we were yelling, "Bite me," we wanted you to bite us hard. I'm supposed to be good today, James. You bring it out of me. A little bit. Well, you know, maybe.
I'd like to start just by telling everybody, guys, you can ask me anything you want. I'd like to lay down the gauntlet and dare you guys to try to embarrass me. It just doesn't really happen. I'm not easily embarrassed. I don't promise to answer anything that you sickos ask me. But I'm a sicko too, so you just go ahead and ask. If it's too much or I don't want to answer, I'll just be like, no. But I think it's kind of fun to go ahead and just ask me. Yeah.
And before we start, I just want to point out this little man right here. He's named after you.
Really? William or Spike? Okay.
Wow.
Yes. He's very handsome. And a good brow.
Sit down. James, he smiled at you. Oh my.
He looks to me like, what's that? 6 months. I remember.
Wow.
He's all grown up now. I took care of my son when he was from about 8 months old to a year and a half. And I was his mom. And we bonded. It was bad. And that's why I think today was so close. He's 18 now.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. He took over my band. I had to crap out of the... sorry. How many children in the audience tonight? Besides... okay, so I'm going to try to keep clean. I had to phone out of my tour to Europe. The band has a new album, and I had to not go there because I got some work in Vancouver. And he said, I'll save the band, Dad. I'll go and sing your songs. And I was like, what a brave young man. But then he just killed it. And it was so amazing that I don't know if they even want me back. So, okay. I can start with you, my brother.
This is Kurt. He's a journalist, and he's also from Juliet Landau's.
Oh, right on.
She sends her best, and happy belated birthday, James.
Right on, thank you.
Two things. One, I'm going to preempt this question because people are going to ask me this. I got the chance to interview your colleague, John Barrowman. A few years ago, you said that John Barrowman was the best kisser of all your co-stars. And his response, he let out this big belly laugh and said, I've been told I'm quite good at it. James Marsters is not too bad himself. That scene we had together as Captain Jack and Captain John, it's become iconic. When we were doing it, what we did was not expected. People didn't expect these two anti-heroes to walk up to each other and just snogging in the middle of the crowd. And then they beat the crap out of each other. It was a brilliant piece of writing. So I wanted you to know that. I can give you a copy afterwards. My question for you, sir, is probably one you're not going to get many times. Can you talk about working with Hilary Swank and Lisa Kudrow and P.S. I Love You?
I learned something on that shoot. Kathy Bates was on that shoot. Henry Connick Jr. was on that shoot. And there were a lot of what they call A-list actors on that shoot. Jerry Butler was on that shoot.
You're A-list.
What?
I think you're A-list.
Yeah.
What I learned is that if you are really on the top of your game, and you're one of those actors who gets to actually attend the Academy Awards and occasionally wins the statue, and you're working with all the big time directors, you are so nice. I have never worked with a group of more humble, hardworking people than that cast. And I always tell, I just told this story in the makeup trailer just a couple days ago. Kathy Bates fell in love with this woman. I think she was in her mid-60s at this point. She had a 102 temperature all day. And I was walking with Kathy into a scene with other people, and we were like discovering Hillary's swank. Hillary's like singing, and she gets kind of embarrassed that she's singing, and we catch her doing it. So we filmed the back of our heads. They filmed Kathy Bates' back of her head for 11 and a half hours. And on the 11th hour, turned around for her close-up. And she's got like 102 temperature. She's 65 years old. And I thought that this Academy Award winner is going to have a little word with the director now. And all she did, we were going to set, and she turns the knob, and she looks back to me, she goes, "Men from the boys, James. Men from the boys, here we go." And I was just like, "Oh, yeah, so there's no whining, no complaining, no bragging. There was just people who were really grateful, happy to be doing what they're doing. And I really think that anytime you hear of an actor who's like being whingy, they're probably on television. And they're probably new to the game, you know? They either haven't figured it out yet, that they're really lucky and there shouldn't be any whining, or they're about to wash out anyway, you know? And so, yeah, anytime that you, like if you like an actor, there's probably like a 90% chance that that's a decent one. There are exceptions, but in really, 90 to 95% of the actors that I've worked with in Hollywood, they're really nice people. Yeah, they just don't get press on.
Thanks, Kurt.
Thank you, James.
Thank you, James. That was a great answer to a great question. And before we go to our next lovely person here, Jacqueline, who helped me on stage, very lovely lady, I have a question from our Frankly users. Jenny O. What was your favorite Smallville episode that you acted in?
Wow.
Thanks, Jenny O.
Yeah, that's a great question. I would say any episode where I wasn't naked, having to film in the Fortress of Solomon. Because that was the hottest set I've ever filmed on in my life. It's supposed to be ice, but it's actually just white plastic. So the sound, the light just bounces around in there, and it becomes an easy bake oven. And it was ridiculous because like Tom plays a character that's not supposed to sweat. You know, you don't see Superman like a robot, but you know, these characters are being played by two human beings who are in the easy bake oven, and they're just melting, cracking up. Like it's ridiculous. Like, how did we even do this? So it would be that. So I guess my favorite scene would be when we were up in the barn on the second floor. Clark and I are looking at the moonlight, and I'm like, Clark supported forgive yourself, supported love, and life is important. Blah blah blah. And I'm thinking, I'm gonna kill you. So soon I'm just gonna have your life. And it was fabulous.
Thank you so much. Jacqueline?
Hey James, I would take this a little bit different direction from your acting and music. I would actually like to know about the graphic novel that you just wrote on Spike and Digital Lights.
Yeah.
Okay, I would love to know where the inspiration came for that, how long you've been working on it, and I would love if you could demonstrate your Spike voice.
No, I don't do the Spike voice anymore. I've moved on to my life. Very cheeky for asking me. Totally played that scene from the beginning. I've forgotten how to do it. So, moving on. I always thought that it was an interesting time for the character of Spike, where he gets a soul but he doesn't know what to do with it yet. And how do you go from being crazy out in the basement in guilt to kind of where we picked him up on Angel, where he's kind of figured it out again, he's a smart ass again, he's kind of got his mojo back. But how do you bridge that? And they kind of touched on it in Buffy. Like we saw him every once in a while, and we kind of saw that progression. But I thought, that's kind of fertile ground for character-wise. But Spike wasn't the lead, so we really didn't explore that much. And the question really was also, how do you cover that ground without recovering the angel ground of redemption of a vampire. So, I thought that it would be interesting. Okay, this is the germ of it. This is the actual germ of that whole story. I only got one costume on Buffy. I got a black coat, and black pants. At one point, I asked the costume director, like, "Is this Gilligan's Island for me?" Like everyone else has a clothing. I think they know where the closet is. Spike never finds where the clothes are. But the truth is there was one pair of boots, and I just never got a new pair of boots. There was a point at which the soles were flapping off the boots, and they would re-glue them. But because I was doing a lot of stunts, like they would rip out in the middle of a stunt, and I would go careening. I'd go, "Get me!" They eventually got some new. So I was thinking anyway. Wouldn't it be funny and not angel-like at all if Spike is having trouble surviving? He's having trouble finding a way to feed himself, a way to clothe himself, a way to house himself, because he can't hurt anybody, he can't mug anybody, he can't kill anybody, he can't eat anybody, and he will not. Like Buffy is a good character. Buffy's like a hero, so she's going to go work at the burger joint. She's loved ones. So Spike's like, it's not that mature. I thought that if I could construct a story where Spike makes one little step towards redemption, but it should be the smallest step possible. The big step would be cheesy, I thought. And so I thought, okay, maybe he can lose the girl. Maybe he'll meet a girl, and throughout the story he'll get dumped like a sack of potatoes. Maybe he will lose the fight to the monster. He'll try to stand up for the town and get his butt just hand it to him. That would be cool. But maybe he figures out a way to get a new parachute. Because he's starving to death, he's homeless, and his shoes are falling apart. But maybe without hurting anybody, without paying for them, without getting a damn job, he figures out one out. So it takes one small step towards it. The smallest one, that was
Awesome. Awesome answer to a great question. Thank you, Jacqueline. Hello.
Hey.
My question actually has to do with the comics as well. So as a writer, you work this comic and you write music and songs, do you have a specific writing process? Like, do you have to write it in the middle of the night or in the morning, or you have to sit at a desk with a cup of coffee? Like, do you have a process that helps you or when you write?
That's a really good question. And a lot of successful writers, and I'm not, will tell you that they actually do, like they have a certain time of day that they sit down, and they always write for 3 hours a day, and it's very disciplined. I wish I could tell you how to do that, but I don't.
You're a little busy.
Yeah. I usually find that if I am well rested to the point of almost getting bored, like right before boredom would have set in, I get an idea, I'm going to make something. And so that usually comes in the form of a song, a melody, or some story that I want to do. But yeah, and it usually comes mid-morning after like the third cup of coffee. I'm alive! I have to get a lot of sleep, like I sleep a lot. I will sleep for 14 hours. Easy. But I usually get 6, so I'm always like finding for 14. But if you give me 14 hours, like 14 hours, and I get 8 hours, and maybe 10 hours, by the third day, I'll probably think there's something to do.
Thank you so much. Great answer, great question. And I have one more from our Frankly friends.
Who are these people? They need to show up to our gig.
Actually, they might be here, but they might have been shy. Maybe. I don't know.
Sure.
I'm in Canada right now, so.
This one is from Buffy Slayer. And Buffy Slayer says, do blondes have more fun?
Yes, they do.
I agree.
pain worth it. I think that it was actually, no, I hated that. That was the one part. It said on the bottle, don't do this, do this every 6 weeks. Don't do it in less time than that. It was very unhealthy for everyone involved. And we did it every 8 days. So you would always, yeah. The makeup people would always be like, we don't really know if you're going to have what we call hair. Because they talked me into doing it when I thought I was going to die in 5 episodes. And I thought I could have that out in 5 episodes. But seriously, if I would have known that it was going to go as long, then I would not have let them do it. Because they, in the beginning, they said, you're punk rock, so we're going to dye your hair black. And they dyed my hair black. And then they looked at me and they were like, that really looks horrible. Kind of boring, and you look ugly. And I was like, what else can we do? Something different than this. And I said, well, we're so sorry, James, because there's only 2 ways to go if you're really going to go full on punk. That's jet black or bone white. So bone white hurts. Here we go. Started bleaching. But yeah, the girls loved it. And it looks great. It was good. But it hurt. I don't even want to go into it. It's gross. It's gross. And it was not the good part of the job, but I would have, pus, blood, chunks of flesh.
Okay, now you got to
Who
laugh.
is a dye blonde? Bow down! Bow down. You guys, seriously, it takes, you have to have the ability to withstand pain if you're going to go for that.
Thank you so much. Great question, Buffy Slayer. Great answer. Now back to our wonderful people. Yes.
Dimensions, okay.
We like that. Great t-shirt, too.
My question is pertaining to Buffy. I just wanted to know what you thought as far as, do you think Buffy has stronger feelings for Spike than she did for Angel?
Wow. I don't know, man. I'm not Buffy. God, I've never heard anybody ask
Good
that
question.
question. Well, how do you feel? How do you feel about? Like, have you had more than one love in your life? Have you had more than one person you've loved deeply? Like, I have, and can you easily identify which one you love more? Like, what? We have some people have, yeah. No, but like
100%.
for me, I would say, well, that's a different chapter of my life. I was a different kind of person back then. It was a different flavor of love.
One isn't better than
And
the
I'd
other.
say that it's more now. Kind of a hard question.
Yeah, it's a tough
I
one.
have to think about if I'm Buffy.
I think she loves Spike. For real.
100% Spike. Yeah, oh man.
David Boreanaz was like her first love. It's like the first crush.
Yeah.
I think you were the real deal.
I'm the mature love. Learned so much from Angel. She grew up so well that she fell in love with a psychiatrist. Yes! I'm not making fun of you. I'm sorry. I think that because the thing is that Joss is continuing to spool these stories out through the comic books. To him, it's as real in the comic books as it was on the screen, on the TV screen. So he's actually he's doing the characters. He's continuing the story, and I think if you want Spike and Buffy to reunite, you should keep reading those comic books. I think you can see that. Who's reading the comic books right now? Okay, has it happened yet? Are they? Yeah. Oh. But I think there is a plan, and plans. But I think there's some kind of idea that they might actually end up.
Thank you.
Thank you. What a great question. Great answer.
Hello.
not do the sign for you this week, and that's where this question came from. The pictures from 2003 with the first roast band. There's been a lot of things written about what actors will do for a role. And
What actors will do what?
do for a role. You know, what kind of things they will do to portray a particular character. And in season 6, what you did with Spike, I mean, you were distraught. There was nothing left of you. You had gotten down so thin. We've seen Christian Bale go down to skeleton.
Yeah.
What do you think, first of all, at this point in your career, what do you think about actors still doing that kind of thing? Do you think that that was something you would ever do again? And how in the hell did you lose all the weight?
Yeah, I think that changing your body for a role is great. You know, I think you have to be careful that there's not any severe health consequences to what you're doing. But there are ways, and there is help to get if you want to gain weight or if you want to lose it for a role. There are things to do. And Christian Bale is known for being able to do that. And I did it. I didn't do it quickly though. For me, it was a slow and steady progression that I had into the mind of the character and also into the body of the character. Like when I got the role, I immediately started thinking about other vampires that I liked, trying to take a page from here and a page from there. Like when I auditioned, I was ripping off Rutger Hauer and Blade Runner, and Malcolm McDowell and Cappy. That was the two things. Like if I can get a kind of combination of that, that's going to be a good audition. So going into it, that's where I started from. But then I started thinking about like who were the cool vampires, and everyone that I thought of, save Bela Lugosi, the ones who really made an impression on me were all very thin. And people that played vampires and they didn't achieve that physicality, I didn't really remember so much. And I started to think about that, like, what is the metaphor for vampires? Why are these characters so effective? Why do they last? And I started to, in my own mind anyway, it may be different for other people, but for me, they were started to be a metaphor for hunger, for psychological hunger, sexual hunger, physical hunger. There was that great movie called The Hunger, David Bowie. And I thought, okay, I think that makes sense for me mostly. That's where I want to go with the character. I think my character is hungry for love and blood, you know. And so I just stopped eating very much. To tell you the truth, during the off season, I lived near the ocean in Santa Monica, so I would rollerblade like miles and sweat, sneaky, spike, come home, shower, don't eat it. I would have a burrito all day. I would have a burrito. I wouldn't have breakfast, and then I would have half the burrito for lunch, and I would have half the burrito for dinner, and that was it. And I just stopped chewing. People say, how do you lose the weight? I mean, like, you know that stuff that you usually put in your mouth? You just got to stop it.
Well, I don't think that I'm ready to go that route.
That thing is insane. Who would do that? This food is good. I had a sandwich for breakfast. I was like, this is awesome. I mean, like, it's right, man. It's like, you guys are smart. You got a real job. I joined the circus. We have to starve. That's weird. You know, you get to sit back and enjoy the entertainment and not have to slog through and actually create it. It's like, what was I thinking? You know? Yeah.
Very quickly.
Yeah.
Would you ever consider plastic surgery?
Would I ever consider plastic surgery? You know, I've thought about it. I've gone to my wife and I'm like, you know, just right here, just a little touch. She's like, don't consider it. So yeah, I think I'm banned at home from doing plastic surgery. You're welcome.
Thank you so much. What a great couple of questions. I love it. Hello.
Hey, hello.
See you too.
It's on. You just got to kiss it like a rock star.
But, okay, bridging off of that, don't ever take it back to your face, James. Don't mess with the money shot.
So good for my ego. You just like order out for lunch and just keep doing this. Come on. Horrible. Oh, okay. No.
Okay, my question is angel related. 10 years ago, I saw you industrial robot perform, I don't know, somewhere around here.
Yeah.
But I was young and dumb. I did not make the connection. I didn't know that you were here at Wizard Work.
Yeah.
I was here, and I was here for one of David's panels. I didn't know you guys were here. I didn't know you could do autographs or photos. And I've regretted it ever since as a huge fan. And 60% of the Angel cast is here this week. Would it be possible, do you think, and this is probably more of a wisdom, and this isn't your issue, I know you didn't set this up, but would it be possible for you guys to, I don't know, do something together, like anything, something?
That's a really good question. I'm not in control of that stuff. I see no reason why we couldn't. We all get along great. So let me ask around. If we can find a room and I can get everybody roped into that would be so nice. Like Jay is here. I'm here. David. And I heard David.
Yeah!
Who? Who else? Okay, cool. Okay, Amy's not here though, huh? She's really nice. Amy is just like her, like her hair. She's just so nice and sweet person. Yeah. That's why she was so amazing as Illyria. When they cast her as Illyria, I was like, you fool. Such a nice person is never going to do this horrible job. Great, so powerful. But I will work on it for you.
Thank you so much.
Wow. Hello.
Hello.
I think you can take it out.
Can everybody come to my booth and just keep saying nice things to me? I'll be there.
All day, every day that you're here.
Yeah, okay.
I heard you on a podcast within the past year, Spectral Skies of the Universe.
Oh, yes, where I argued for the existence of God on the science show. I'm like such a subversive. I'm like, I have to subvert science. I'm so sorry. I just read a book.
I was really impressed with you because you were yourself and you were talking about a lot of things that, are science.
Yeah.
I mean, you almost sound like you were one of the geeks with them. So tell me about
Oh,
what
yeah,
science is.
I was at a Star Trek convention in 1977 with pointed gears and a blonde actor. I was on a write-in campaign to get the first Star Trek movie made. That goes way back. Yeah, I saw the very first showing of Star Wars at the North Point Theater in '77. I lived next to George Lucas. This is a good story. Do you mind? So he invited I was in my freshman year of high school, and he invited all the drama nerds in Marin County to come see the movie. So we went and saw the movie. I was 13. We waited for like 2.5, 3 hours. Nothing happened at the North Point Theater. We were about to leave. George comes ambling down the aisle, and he goes, "Guys, I'm so sorry to make you wait, but we were editing the film. We just finished it just now. I think some of the special effects aren't ready, some of the music is temporary, but I think you might like this." So I was like trying to explain it to all my friends, like this is C-3PO, Wookiees, and the laser, and they were all used to like The Godfather, and Serpico and stuff. They thought that I was insane. They thought that you are taking drugs. No, I'm not. And so then I thought it was mine. I saw it before, like 6 months before anyone else did, so it became mine. And George was the next door neighbor of one of my friends. And so when the movie hit big, I wrote a letter to George. And I was thinking how 13-year-olds can be very important. And I said, this is a great movie. You are using old myth for your touchstone for this stuff. Now, that's not yours. That's the human race's story. So don't sell toys based on this stuff, because you will convince the audience that it's only for kids and it's for everybody. This is deep myth. And about 4 months later, I got a letter back from the secretary saying that George wanted to take the time to tell you that you are wrong. You're going to sell a lot of toys. We have control over that, and we're going to make sure that the toys really well reflect the spirit of the movie.
But what a new person you were to do that. I mean, think about that, right? I love you even more now. I think I just fell in love with you even more.
When I was 13, I was so wide.
That was the beginning of who you are. Like, that was really,
Wow.
You were right, though. It is everybody's
No,
story.
that was not right. I mean, look, just Lucas didn't get paid to direct the film. He didn't get paid for that so that he could get 100% of the merchandise. That's how he was going to feed his family, for God's sake. That's how he funded the rest of the trilogy, was because he was selling toys.
I find it super charming that you did that, though.
And I want to say, bite me. And I'm shameless. We'd love to see a little more of you. Ask her.
So what did you think? Did I on the science show? Did I argue convincingly for the possibility of God?
Oh, you said so much more than that.
Yeah.
I mean, that was just a small portion of what you said. You were talking about like the particle physics and the quantum.
Yeah.
Whatever it is you understood it is, which is, like a hobby kind of.
Yeah.
That's why I was.
Yeah.
I mean, you were just amazing, and I thought, wow, I had no idea
I
that
want-
you had that in you too.
Thank you. I wanted to convince one of the scientists. Yes, I just thought that would be the most subversive thing I could possibly do. Just open your mind. It's possible. You don't know. Yeah.
Oh, do you believe?
Uh-oh.
But I already know the
I
answer.
read a book, and this is you've heard the podcast, and I already went through it. Now so many people didn't. I read a book by Bernard Hayes, who's an astrophysicist at the University of Arizona. He's one of the preeminent astrophysicists in the world, and he wrote a book called The Purpose-Guided Universe, in which he says that there are 34 things about the physics of the Big Bang, the way our universe is laid out. Things like the relative strength of gravity